Fit for Life Radio, episode number 191. Your host, Gary,
Will,
and today we're chatting about go-to meals.
Just simple stuff.
The power of go-to meals.
Super important.
Mm-hmm. And really just kind of chopping it up about how, because, we have our go-to meals. We see a high success rate with clients that find their go-to meals. And really, what is a go-to meal? I think people make the mistake of thinking it is what it says it is, a go-to meal, and then they think they're boxed in.
Yeah, this is the only thing that I can have is a specific meal.
But the reality is it's just a formula.
It's framework.
That can become automatic. But there's tons of ways to have variety with it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like you eat the same thing every single day. Mm-hmm. With like zero deviation, no nothing. It's just like, this is the meal I eat. That's not what we're talking about. And there's a small percentage of the population that can do that. Mm-hmm. You can do that. I could do that. But that's not super, like, you have no flexibility with that.
Yeah. But you know what? And I go back to this. I would argue that it's a much large, like most people do eat the same stuff all the time, right? And
yes,
like, or the reality is they have their own go-to meals.
Yeah, but their go-to meals aren't supporting their goals.
The reality is then when you mention like whatever you want to call it, a healthy go-to meal, it's just they don't want to change, right?
Yeah.
Like, because think about it. Say your go-to meal is the go-to meal is really more about how do you end up with this food in your belly, mm-hmm. right? And if you can make that as thoughtless and automatic as possible, you can set yourself up for success. Because at the end of the day, we end up just having a habit that's automated.
Yeah,
right?
Whether that's ordering DoorDash or mm-hmm. stopping somewhere on the way home or cooking your meal.
Yeah, or firing up your stove, right? But what people don't realize is if you can create the cooking your meal literally can feel and become as easy as ordering the DoorDash. Because right now I've never ordered DoorDash in my life.
Me neither.
And if you asked me to have DoorDash for lunch, it would actually...
It'd be harder.
I'd fumble and stumble through it a little bit. Yeah. It would throw me off. So you want to find some kind of, preparation, really. What is your go-to preparation to... and then the meals that can kind of be within that, right? So hopefully as we start to explain it will make more sense. For example... One of my go-to meals and it's funny when I will branch out and do different stuff. And this is what really triggered this and what I noticed, which is fine from time to time. But then I always go back to my go-to, not because it's like, a different meal or different, maybe even a whole different variety of foods. And I end up but like, there could be even foods that I really like or enjoy, but getting them prepared or whatever ends up cramping my lifestyle too much. And then the trade-off of like what is the most convenient to pull off consistently often weighs out, right?
It does.
Especially, again, because with a go-to meal, you're going to enjoy it to a degree, right? Like, you're not going to be sad to eat it.
Yeah, it's a go-to meal for a reason. Like, you do enjoy having it around.
So it can be as simple as, like, for me, like meat and rice, right? And because that means that I just have to have meat prepared and rice cooked. So all I have to do for the rice, so say my lunch and dinner go-to meal, or meat and rice, I just have to throw rice in the rice cooker, right? Put some water in there. It's literally 30-second preparation, right? And then the meat can be chicken, pork, beef, right? Fish,
turkey.
Right? And it could be, maybe canned salmon, canned tuna. Or crock pot on the weekend, crock pot of chicken breast or chicken thighs or pork tenderloin, shred it up, and then I'm just combining, right? But you see where it's not like, just chicken and rice, right?
Yeah, the classic bodybuilder chicken and rice and broccoli.
Right there, in just the meat alone, there's tons of variation, right? Then I could have a different veggie with it. I could throw canned green beans. I could throw some broccoli, in the microwave, frozen broccoli,
some peppers,
right? Or you could have peppers and onions and saute that up a little real quick. So there's different flavor profiles, and then you could use mustards, you could use barbecue sauces, you could make your own little flavoring sauce. So then you have endless,
and then your seasonings too on top of that.
Yeah, seasonings and spices and flavor profiles. So, but the cool thing is all those things, the flavors, food types, nothing changes per se with the preparation. So it doesn't, I know, hey, I can pop this rice in the rice cooker and just prep some meat on the weekends, and that framework is there. There's no what am I going to eat, or how am I going to prepare this, or how am I going to make time for this? It's automatic, right? And yeah, I'll go through kicks where, in me, I'm more like this. So is my wife. And this is where people may probably vary more often. It's like, I'll go on kicks, right? Where, I really like this specific spice and this specific meat per se. And
you just go with it.
Roll with it for like 2 or 3 weeks, or sometimes only 2 or 3 days, right? And then all of a sudden, I want to mix it up, right? Or some people, they'll want something different each day, right? Which, like we said, you have that framework. You don't really have to stress it, and it's pretty easy to just change the vegetable, change the meat, or whatever. So that is really the framework when we talk about go-to meals. And think about it, most people already do it, right? Like, I guarantee you, your go-to lunch might just be like, I go out to eat, right? Or it may be, I have a microwavable meal, right? The whole meal, and so in reality, your go-to meal,
it's just what you do regularly.
Is what you do regularly, really preparation-wise, right? Or you may order DoorDash, and now we know.
And that's your preparation is open in the app.
If you're ordering DoorDash, if you're eating out, hey, we know when we do those things, there's calories that are going to be unaccounted for, and they may not align with our goals. So you just need to find a go-to meal that kind of fits into
and a preparation style that is going to serve your goals.
Yeah. And then I'll do one more, and then have you do a few. And then right now for a while, my breakfast. So I kind of have it separated between like my lunch and dinners.
And then your breakfast.
And then my breakfast, which is protein broats, right? Protein oats. So yeah, it's just
what flavor do you do? Vanilla or chocolate?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm doing that. Make sure I get it right. It's going to throw you for a loop.
Because it's not vanilla or chocolate?
Mm-mm.
Damn.
Cinnamon Crunch.
I'm impressed.
Quest.
Is the Quest good?
Mm-hmm. It's my Quest, because it's half casein, half whey, which I like that blend. It's like thicker.
Yeah, I was going to... that is good.
But yeah, so it's like Cinnamon Crunch. So you actually know what put me on it was Diego, Poppy's Creamery. He had that Cinnamon Crunch ice cream drop. And it was just popping off.
And you were like, damn, I need this every morning.
And then I saw Quest had a Cinnamon Crunch protein powder. And then for breakfast, so.
How much do you do? How much oats and stuff?
So I do 160 grams of oats.
Okay.
Which is 2 cups.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a healthy.
Just eating to maintain.
And then how much protein with that?
And I don't even know how many calories. I think my breakfast is probably like almost 1,000 calories.
So a cup of oats, I think, is 300 calories. So 600 calories plus whatever else you put in it.
And then...
Do you do 2 scoops?
I do like 50 grams. I weigh it out. Because when you're eating 160 grams of oats, there's a lot of protein.
Yeah, you're getting some.
But then
so 50 grams is probably
a scoop and a half.
Yeah.
And then I do a scoop of like 10, 15 grams of collagen protein. So yeah, I mean, it ends up being like 60 grams of protein.
Heavy hitter.
And then blueberry, and I do a couple blueberries.
In the damn cinnamon and blueberry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird, but
I don't like that combo, but like Whitney does. She'll make oats with blueberries and cinnamon and all this, and I can't stand combining them.
I would prefer banana, but
banana with cinnamon is good.
So here's the blueberry. This is funny. This is what happens when you start to value different things, and you can be just as excited to eat it. Like, so 2 things with blueberries. For one, 3 things with blueberries. I enjoy them. two, there's so much, like, as far as like we talk about superfoods and no superfood, but truly backed benefits of like specific food.
Blueberries are
we
hot,
talk about
bro.
brain health and stuff. Blueberries are just too strong to ignore.
They are.
Right? Like current.
I agree.
You get current and long-term brain health benefits. And it's just a simple food that's readily available, right?
And is delicious.
Mm-hmm. And you only need like, most of them, it's like 120 grams, which is actually 3/4 of a cup a day. So, okay, I want to get my blueberries in, right? So that's 2. And then 3 is, I make my oatmeal. I like it real thick, so I cook it a lot, and it's really hot. So it takes forever to cool down.
Blueberries cool
unless you have food-like substance. It's like little ice cubes, right?
That's what I do. I just thought there's no cinnamon in there.
So I cook the oats, throw in the blueberries, which then cool it off enough. Then I stir in the protein powders, and then there we go.
And you're good.
And then if I wanted to now, I could change the fruit and the protein powder, and it's almost like a whole different.
It's a whole different thing.
game.
You could do like
chocolate in
that's exactly what
banana.
I was going to say. Exactly the combo.
Yeah.
And then that's a whole different thing. You could even throw a little PB2 powder in there.
And this is what's funny, if you start talking about convenience and stuff. If it was just flavor purely alone, I would do like chocolate banana peanut, like some PB2 powder.
Yep.
But the luxury of not this, and it sounds crazy, right? Of not having to wait 5 to 10 minutes and just stirring in the blueberries, which cool it off.
Easy.
I go with that right now. But you know what? I may hit a wall, and then I will switch.
You might go over to chocolate, man.
Yeah. Or even sometimes just like vanilla with like. Sometimes I like the mixture. It's like blackberries and raspberries and blueberries, so like vanilla and berries.
Triple berry.
But yeah, so I've been doing that. And honestly, sometimes I really like, and again, if I had like a chef making me breakfast, I would probably have like eggs and maybe eggs and oats, or like eggs and, I kind of like eggs and rice too, or honestly like eggs and like hash browns. Honestly, if I had a number one choice, it would be eggs and like hash browns, like potato.
Would you have the hash browns on the side, or would you cook the hash browns and then cook the eggs in
like
the
a
hash
scramble?
browns?
No, it would be like eggs and then like seasoned up little hash browns on
crispy.
the side, and
Square, like the little cubes or the shreds?
honestly both. I'll probably mix it up.
Both.
I like both of them.
I like the shreds better, but the little squares are good.
Yeah, but it's just more labor intensive.
It is more work.
It's more work. And
I got mine down. I'll have like 2 generally, so it's either eggs and oatmeal or eggs and rice. Those are usually what I go for. But I got it down to where like I got the timing to where I know like when I start heating up the pan, and then I put the oatmeal in, and by the time the oatmeal's halfway done, the eggs are in, and it just timing's perfect. Only takes a couple minutes, of course, but yeah, that's usually my go-to. And I'm super plain with my oatmeal. I do salt and blueberries, and that's literally all I put in my oatmeal. And it's good. It's good enough for me, and I don't need a bunch of stuff in there.
yeah,
And then, eggs are just eggs. They're just good.
yeah.
So.
I love me some eggs, but yeah, then I don't eat them much because I end up like just stirring in protein powder. But yeah, and then you see and it's funny, like I love potatoes, but dude, I now get on kicks. But potatoes are so much more finicky than like grains, like rice and oats. Like rice and oats, that's like have an infinity shelf life, and you know what I'm saying. Whereas like, dude, in the summer, potatoes, I noticed they'll like turn where they get those little sprouts.
They start sprouting,
and like sweet potatoes will sometimes like get that weird soft spot, and then you're like having to throw some out, and and it's just like, man, this is inconvenient, right? So those are little things you find.
And then like rice and oatmeal and stuff, like they cook perfect every time. Like if you have the right amount of grain and water and the right amount of time, like it's going to be the same no matter what. But potatoes, man, they can,
yeah.
Depends on how big they are and how you cook it, and they can just be a little weird.
Yep.
Like if you over microwave a sweet potato, you get that tough exterior, like a little husk almost. It's not good.
Another kick I've been on lately Which actually I'm starting to like is losing its novelty.
It's losing its luster.
But Alexis, she's type 1 diabetic, and she needed sometimes snacks if her sugar goes low, and she was getting rice cakes.
I go on a rice cake like once a year.
But then I ate one, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And
what flavor? What flavor was it?
So it was apple cinnamon.
Oof, that's a good one, dude.
She put cream cheese on it.
Oh.
And wait till you see where I get with this. And I was like, man, this is good. So then I was like, oh, that was nice.
I already know what you're about to say. I know you're about to tell me.
And dude, it's no problem for me to go lower in fat with most of my stuff. So then I have kind of a lot of fat at night. So after dinner, I'll have 2 rice cakes with an ounce each of cream cheese on them.
Damn.
Which is an ounce of cream cheese is 9 grams. It's only 9 grams. Well, 9 grams of fat. So there's about 20 right there. And yeah, I just enjoy it, right? But then I started looking, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of flavors of rice cakes.
There are.
And so I basically go get them all. And dude, they have a everything bagel flavor.
I haven't had that, but I feel like that would be really good. You get your bagel fix
with
basically.
The cream cheese. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's not far off. The other thing I realized about rice cakes, this is what I was eating it, and I was like, it just hit me. Because sometimes we'll have bread, but I like it toasted. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, we don't have I guess we got a toaster like normal people, but so we do it in the oven. Mm-hmm. And bread, but then but I was like, dude, a rice cake.
It's crispy.
It's already crispy. It's just more, I don't know, it's convenient. And
it's light.
So the apple cinnamon, then dude, chocolate.
I was going to tell you, chocolate is one of my top.
The chocolate is probably my favorite, but then...
It tastes like, what's the cereal?
Cocoa Crisps. Yeah.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Yeah, dude, the chocolate with the cream cheese. So last night, what I did? I made a sandwich out of it.
Of course you did.
It looks like a sad, Oreo.
Like an Oreo, yeah.
Like everyone listening be like, just eat an Oreo, dude. But I'm like, nah. I'm doing it like
You know what I thought you were going to tell me? Is that you had the apple cinnamon one, mm-hmm. and you had your cream cheese, and you mixed your protein powder into your cream cheese to make a little apple cinnamon spread.
Oof.
It might be worth a try.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go there. Damn, that would probably be good.
We got there's like a cheese one, like a cheddar cheese or something.
Yeah, that's good.
Everything bagel, chocolate. There's
a maple brown sugar, I think, as well.
I don't think they have that one no more. Yeah, I remember seeing.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a light brown package.
They have a caramel, but we didn't get that.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. There used to be a maple sugar one, but I don't think there is anymore. But anyways.
White cheddar. I don't know if they have white cheddar or not, but that's usually good too.
So yeah, I've been on that kick, but now I can tell like...
You're just losing, you don't really care anymore.
My novelty,
You find something else. They are solid. Like, you get decent volume of food. It's not that many calories. Mm-hmm. You get a little crunch.
Yeah.
You got to be the minis. They have the little ones in the back.
Crackers,
you got to be careful because then they just turn into chips. And you just eat a bunch of them.
And they're made like that. They have. I looked at the ingredients. Like they're higher in fats and stuff. They have added, to cook them in.
Yeah.
Or however they do it.
Just that regular rice cake, man.
But anyway, so yeah, go to meals. So it's really like let me find preparation I can do, and then explore all my variation within, and. So and that could be. It doesn't have to be meat and rice, right?
No, it can be something else.
And I think like what's your
it's meat and rice.
Is meat and rice.
Yeah,
right?
it's for both of us.
Everyone,
it's just
everyone. It's funny. Like it ends up being.
That's kind of what it turns into.
Fitness is world go to for a reason, right?
Yeah,
and in reality,
because it's easy.
Yeah,
like you just put rice in a rice cooker, and like that's the effort.
And it's easy to measure.
Yeah, it's super easy
to portion. But for example, you could find a couple casserole dishes, make sure they have enough protein and then. Make it ahead of time and have your portions already out, right?
Yeah.
And for some people, and we've had clients who that is their go-to, right? Now, it's a little more work.
It is.
It's harder to portion.
But it still might work. It might be good for you.
You have endless options. It transports well. You can reheat it.
I saw a pretty good way of doing that I did like. It's a way to like individually portion a casserole type thing. Mm-hmm. Like you just get like the glass Tupperware things. Like this lady uses the little circular ones. And it's basically like you can cook them all in the oven at the same time.
Yep.
But they're individually portioned. So then you just, when they're done cooking, put the lid on it and your meal's already pre-portioned. So you don't have to like measure a certain amount out of the casserole that you cut. So it's a good way to do that and still, have like a bulk cooking type thing.
Yeah.
So,
and for breakfast, right, it could be obviously too. And it's funny, like, things are cliche for a reason, right? Like, but like, and then we end up basically at eggs and oats, right? Or protein powder and oats and meat and rice, right? And trust me, when people hear that, I think, dude, I went through phases where I'm like, I got to recreate quote unquote normal food, right? So I'm going to find hamburgers and pizza and dessert type foods that so I can never fit in.
It just feels like so much more work to do that all the time.
And it's not even that great, right? So, but anyways, it could be like a smoothie or a shake, right? It could be your go-to meal. Or maybe you could have eggs boiled and then you're just pairing it with fruit. Grab and go.
Easy.
Go-to meal, right?
I know a lot of people that they'll boil a lot of eggs on like a Sunday and then they just grab 2, 3, 4, however many they do every day.
Yep.
And that's simple. You just take it.
Yep. Greek yogurt with protein stirred in and grab a piece of fruit, right?
And you could do that the night before. Yeah. You could stir it and have it ready to go and grab it and leave.
Yeah. Meat and potato. Like we're giving potato a hard time about, the storing of them, but still you can pop them in the microwave. Easy to do, right?
They even sell, like, for a little more convenience, already wrapped in plastic, and you just put that in the microwave and it steams it and cooks it for you. And it's probably like 5 minutes for those because they're a little smaller, But yeah, that's the easy one. Yeah.
Or you, like we talked about in some past episodes, you go to Subway for lunch and hey, my go-to is a foot long, double meat, no salt, no high calorie dressings, right? And then your breakfast could be a smoothie, right? So right there, my go-to meal, I have a smoothie. And then you could have tons of different variations within that.
All the different fruit, the flavor, the protein, yogurt in it, peanut butter, whatever, and it's just kind of endless.
Yeah. Then cool, lunchtime, I go to Subway, right? And again, you got 15, 20 different.
You just adhere to the principles of let me make sure I have this amount of meat. I don't go with a high calorie dressings.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then something for dinner, right? Or dinner could change every night, and that could literally be your go-to dinner is the fact that you cook a complete meal from scratch, right? Or you had rice in the cooker, and you pair it with some meat and have meat and rice and veggie, right? So
there's a lot of options, but just know that you can boil it down to simple principles.
And again, all you're doing is you already have go-to meals whether you realize it or not.
If you're just changing how you go to your meal.
If your go-to dinners, I get home and just eat chips and stuff. Well, that's your current go-to process is to buy those chips.
You got to change the process.
Have them in the pantry and snack away on them, right?
Or you order a pizza on the way home, and that's your process. Mm-hmm. So it's just changing how you start that.
Yeah, changing your go-to meals in a way. So, we almost need to fix it from find your go-to meals to change your go-to meals because everyone's eating.
Yep. We all eat the similar stuff. No one's eating literally a different item every single day of their entire lives. Yeah. Like, I don't know, going fast food place to fast food place, you eat something completely, totally different. Usually we gravitate towards the same things.
Yeah. Well, and even look, you can even start to break it down, and it's like, there's 4 different hamburger places. There's
most of them have fries.
It's all a facade. Mm-hmm. Until let's make the bun Krispy Kreme donut, right? Or let's put pizza sauce inside the crust. But you know what funny is? With all those then extreme variations, how many people end up actually eating those consistent? People, you eat it once for novelty and never again, and you end up.
You just want the tried and true.
Mm-hmm.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late. So having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's 1 scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
So again, look at, hey, what are my current go-to meals or food eating consumption times, and realize you have to change that because it's not about the one meal. No. You go out of your way and you make this awesome, healthy, calorie-controlled meal, but you need to do that more often than not, right? Which means
it doesn't need to be a huge endeavor.
Yeah. You're going to have to find something that's sustainable.
Yeah.
You're going to have to change your go-to meals.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Yeah. And again, like, I love my meat and rice meals. Is it as good as a burger and French fries? You know, like, no, like, it's
okay.
But if a burger and French fries are a 10 out of 10 on taste and, you know, entertainment, hyperpalatability, you know, my meat and rice are like 8 out of 10. You know, 9 like, and
then compare the effort and stuff involved in both of those, and the simple wins out more often than not.
What am I trying to accomplish? I'm trying to control my calorie intake. I'm trying, all that stuff. Yeah, I look for. Oh, it's almost mealtime. I get excited. I'm eating my meal. I'm doing a happy dance, and I look forward to my next meal. Right. So, and what if I stop? Oh, like right now, for example, I mean, again, this is me personally. Not to other people, could sound awful, but like I'm having chicken and rice a lot and I like mustard on it, and then when that starts to get exciting, I can change it to pork tenderloin with barbecue sauce, right? And then I'll ride that out, right? And again, this is just an example, but if you truly commit to like, let me find meals that help support my goals, and then just like working at them until, I can make this effortlessly. I can. I
think that's the big part. Is like you have to do a little bit of work to get it where you want it.
Yeah, it's trial and error.
All of the meals that Whitney and I eat, like we have the same menu. We've had the same menu every week for like 8 months at least. Like every Monday we eat the same thing, every Tuesday, etc. And we're cool with that. That's how we get our variety in. But all of them started a little bit more involved, right? They almost were derived from a more involved recipe, right? Mm-hmm. We're like, it's got a lot of ingredients. Dude, I boiled all of them down to like I can prep in like 5 minutes, and most of them they're ground meat, ground chicken, ground turkey. We changed the seasonings, the veggies they're paired with, maybe a sauce. But like we've refined them. I could do them in my sleep at this point. Mm-hmm. We have them so often. They're really good. We both love them. So they're so automatic at this point, but they didn't start that way. Like it took a little more effort and figuring out the process and how do I make this the easiest possible. So you do have to do a little bit of that, but just don't expect it to be perfect the first time you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, people would be, like you said, be surprised. Like you'd be surprised how you can get down to being able to prepare meals in 5 minutes. Like that's what we do for dinner. So my wife and I, like, we have breakfast and lunch separate because she goes to work. She's a teacher. And, I have my protein and oats for breakfast. She actually has protein and oats as well. And then while she's prepping that, she'll prep her lunch, which is normally like already boiled eggs that she boils ahead of time, like a bunch to have at once. She'll chop that up, pair it with like a piece of cheese or yogurt or Greek yogurt with some protein powder in it. So basically eggs and Greek yogurt, and then like a piece of fruit or something that then she packs and takes with her. And then, then mine would be like meat and rice. I already have, I'll get the rice going in the rice cooker. And then dinner is normally a protein, starch, and veggie, right? But it could be just having rice. It's already in the rice cooker. She gets home. Eventually it's time to cook dinner. She'll normally have like potato. So I'll throw the potato in the microwave for 5 minutes. While that's cooking, then we'll have ground beef per se for the protein. So then I'll ground that up in the pan with some spices. Takes 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's super quick too.
I'll know maybe if I'm having like canned green beans or some other frozen veggie, throw that in the microwave. More often than not, it'd be canned green beans, and then she'll like fresher stuff. So we'll have like tomato and cucumbers, and she'll chop that up while the protein's cooking, and then combine it all. Literally 5 to 10 minutes tops for dinner.
And a lot of it's just the time management too. Mm-hmm. Like if if you're doing the wrong things first, it's going to take you longer. Yeah. Do the things that you can set and forget. And then the things that require more effort, you can do while your stuff's going in the background. Like rice, we always like put rice on first because it's going to take a little bit longer than like beef to cook. So that'll always go on first, and then do the legwork on, maybe chopping veggies or whatever you need to do, cook the meat while, your background processes are happening.
And then, when we have more time the weekend, hey, we want to make some lasagna or spaghetti and meatballs or just something way more time and labor intensive, we'll do that then, and then you can enjoy the process more. There's less stress, right? And you know what? Maybe one of those meals ends up, you really enjoy it and you realize you can fit it in during the week, or it becomes a go-to meal.
That's where most of ours came from, was like, well, let's try this new recipe on Saturday. And then I figured out like, I can really simplify this. And this can be like just included in what we do. Yeah.
And then maybe there's something that it's not worth making, like we want some pho, right? Or sushi.
Bro, you spend like $50 buying ingredients to make something like that when you can just go down the street and get it for $12.
So then we'll go out to eat, right?
Yeah, like ramen, sushi. Dude, I'm going out for those. I'm not going to try.
Yep. So it's just, like you said, experimenting.
I like setting like a Saturday or even Friday night as like let me try something new because I have more time type thing. And, it can be a little bit more in terms of, hey, this requires a little bit more ingredients, but you figure that out.
Yep. And at its core, it's just ultimately realizing and recognizing something's got to change, right? Your go-to meals can't be DoorDash.
The way you approach your meal has to change. The way you get there.
Yeah. And most people you're going to be better off long-term preparing your own food. So
figure out how to make that work for you.
But the problem that we see is, and like what sparks this, is people will go into it with the expectation of like, I need a recipe for lunch on Monday, a recipe for dinner on Monday. I need a recipe for lunch on Tuesday, a recipe for dinner on Tuesday, a different recipe for lunch on Wednesday, a different recipe.
Yeah, so then that's daunting to all of us.
Yeah. And it could be different preparation methods, tons of different ingredients. And then, you quit after 2 days and 3 meals. Oh, healthy eating's too expensive and too exhausting.
Yeah, because you're buying 40 ingredients per meal. Of course, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm. And one meal you're having to, stir fry and stew, and the other one you're having to boil and bake, and the other one you're all over the map. Yeah,
all over the place. Refine your process and make it easy. Mm-hmm.
Find those go-to meals.
Yeah, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. It is super simple, and simple stuff can taste good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as burger and fries, but it's damn close. Maybe you make burgers and fries. I don't know. Who knows? I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
Maybe on a Saturday.
I know.
We'll do like chicken sandwiches and fries on like a Saturday night, but that's like making those, because you got to cut the potatoes, unless you buy them frozen, and boil them if you really want good fries. So it's like 45 minutes, close to an hour to make good French fries. And then we do these like breaded chicken sandwiches that are legit. But again, it's like at least an hour process.
Yeah.
Not recommended for your Tuesday night. That's all. Mm-hmm. So.
And then outside of that, again, don't then a lot of people will go the rabbit hole of like, I don't even eat that many meals, but they snack all the time. Well, snack, that's your meals.
Snacks are meals.
Stop calling them snacks. Everything, just picture everything as a meal, right? Because the snack calories can be just as much as a meal or more, right?
Yeah. So don't think about, it's just a little bit of food.
Yeah.
Because that's usually not the reality.
Stop being grown up and having your dinner be chips and salsa and queso.
Which on its face, everyone loves chips and salsa and queso. However,
just because you're eating chips and salsa doesn't mean you can then rationalize like I barely even eat meal. You know, like no, that's a meal.
Nah, you just housed the 1,000 calories of chips and queso.
Yeah, with like no protein,
which makes it feel like I barely ate anything.
Mm-hmm.
So don't fall into that.
Yep, and that is your go-to meal. So then you wonder
why
am I struggling, right? So like, well, you got to change that go-to meal to something that is going to be, you know, help align more with your outcome goals. Sometimes, and you can see how easy it can be, like when I'm prepping. And so actually, this is what I do. I guess we'll share more. For whatever, what is it about when you start cooking that you just get like snackish, right?
You do. Well,
And-
your brain's getting prepped for the meal, man.
You start thinking about food, and so I get it. I 100% get it. Dude, I jar of pickles. I get, you know, the little hamburger pickles. And literally, I'll say,
You don't get a whole pickle and just...
nah, man. I like the little ones. I'll say 5 out of 7 nights when I start cooking dinner.
You're slamming some
And I'll
pickles?
just grab some pickles and munch at them while I'm cooking.
Dude, pickles are great because you get that salt, you get the vinegar, you get the crunch
Yeah.
with like no calories.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of pickles.
So little things like that.
Do you like regular pickles or you like bread and butter? This is going to...
What do you mean?
Like a dill pickle or a
Yeah.
bread and butter? Bread and butter are like sweeter.
I don't know. I like dill, I think.
Do you like the vinegary pickle?
Yeah.
Okay, then you like a dill.
But
The bread and butter have this weird sweetness to them that I don't like.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. I think
Yeah.
I've seen those. I never grabbed them because it sounds weird.
You wouldn't like it.
I'm like, I don't want bread and butter on my
Nah.
pickles. But then, you know, the difference is it's a texture, right? So Alexis, she'll like the whole pickles. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, nah, I like the slices. I don't like the...
Is it too much crunch on a whole pickle?
So to me, it's
or just because it's the whole pickle?
I don't know.
Maybe you should talk to your therapist about that.
Yeah. But,
Why don't I eat the whole pickle?
yeah. I cut it up into little...
Is there a certain type of, like a certain brand of pickle you like?
So this is where we get... For me, I'm
Because
not...
you can be particular about
No.
things. I know.
But I'm not picky with the pickle, but Alexis is.
What type does she like?
She'll research and find stuff, and yeah, of course, there's this one, and it's only in the refrigerated section, and I went to like 4 places
Is it
and
like
couldn't find it.
Clausen pickles?
I think so.
Yeah, they're usually refrigerated. I think it's Clausen. Yeah.
And she's
They're
like,
good.
I gotta have this kind, and to me, I'm like, the Lidl ones taste fine.
You know, there is something with some pickles where I don't know if it's maybe a preservative they put in them, but they have a really terrible aftertaste that I don't like. It just lingers on your tongue.
Yeah.
And some of them, I've noticed the ones that are like that real green,
Yeah.
green color, or whatever it is.
Yeah, throws you off.
They tend to have that, and I don't like that anymore.
You know which ones I really liked a lot now I think about it, and they also like make sauerkraut, and they're in the refrigerator. Bubbies.
Yeah, but yeah, those are good.
Do they have pickles, right?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah, I like.
I think they're kinda
they do.
pricey.
Yeah. I like their pickles and sauerkraut.
Dude, the Kroger Simple Truth brand, they're my favorite. Trader Joe's are good too. I just don't ever go to Trader Joe's very often. Those are legit. I get the spears. Mm-hmm. You know, get a good crunch.
So yeah, again, it's finding those little places. Hey, if you get snackish while you're cooking,
A little pickle.
find some cowardly.
Coward.
Cowardly.
Find some cowardly snacks.
Some cowardly snacks. I don't even, dude. If I had I don't even invite the other stuff.
Nah,
to
I
the
don't.
party.
I don't ever really like. I'm just usually so.
I don't get snackish between meals either. Just right when I start cooking.
I'm usually in like when I'm cooking and I'm cool. So I don't normally think about eating when I'm cooking. Mm-hmm. But if I do, man, I'll grab a couple pickles, hamburger dills.
Mm-hmm. You do like olives or anything?
No, not olives. I've tried and I just don't like them.
Yeah.
They're just not good. Some people love them. I feel like Alexis probably loves olives.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems like an olive eater. I don't know what that means.
Isn't that like a Nelly Furtado song? Is that man eater?
Man eater. She's an olive eater. That sounds like an insult.
Why did I
But
know
it's
that?
not.
Who sang that song?
What? Man eater?
Yeah.
Is that Hall & Oates?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Nelly Furtado did sing a song called Man Eater too. But yeah, Hall & Oates.
Nelly Furtado. Is she even?
Bro, she's back, I saw. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was Nelly Furtado too. Yeah, did the
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
I was in New York, last week, and we randomly stumbled on Times Square. We were just walking, and there's like this balcony thing out there, and it was like Diddy was dropping a new album, and it was like dropping at noon, and he's supposed to come like perform, and it was like 11:50 something, so we're like, oh, let's hang out. And then like he was late, of course. We're waiting, like 12:25 rolls around, and they even had some little kid come on and I hyped the crowd up. It was real awkward, they were like 11, but they were just like a hype person you would see at a concert,
Yeah.
And it was funny because then they're like, hey, you kid in the red jacket. And there's this little kid in a red jacket in front of us. And he got all excited and grabbed his mom. And you thought like they're going to be like, come on, you come up here and you want, and then like, it was just like, yeah, I see how excited you are, we're going to get this going. Yeah, that was it.
He got pumped and he got let down.
Yes.
He was like, oh, damn, I thought I was getting something.
It was one of those things that's so subtle, but you're
like, damn, that kid's day just got ruined.
And then, we eventually just left.
Did he do better?
But he dropped the new album. But then I was like, and it was.
Did you listen to the album?
The funny thing was, the whole crowd that was gathered there, I don't think anyone. It was just people who had stumbled on it,
Yeah, like no one's a Diddy fan.
Nah.
Like he's had some hits.
Off the grid.
You know what I mean?
Off the Grid 2023. See, first solo album in 17 years.
The Love album. Off the Grid. I'm gonna listen to it on my way home.
Fire it all up.
Oh no, dude, that's a full album. Damn. 1, 2.
Nah, see, that's where he doesn't know how many songs is it?
23.
He's still making albums like it's 19.
You know what, though? I respect it because now you get albums that are like 8 songs long. Like,
yeah. Or just, but you know what? The way people listen to music now, you really should just
release singles?
They want singles and they want stuff all frequently, right? So you're almost just better off just
these little 8-track bangers
and just letting them out.
You know what? Like, I get that, and I feel the same way about TV shows too. Mm-hmm. I kind of miss when seasons of TV shows were like 29 episodes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was like an episode that didn't even matter, but you're like, that was funny, that was good, I'm glad that was there. And the same thing with music. Like, the albums used to be so long, and there was so much on there, and now it's like you get this little tiny thing, or you get a Netflix series that's 8 episodes that should have been 15.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
It's crazy. So speaking of which, let's see then, because this would be good, because I know you are probably a fringe non-fan of this person's music, and
you might be surprised.
And in general, you are a fringe fan of the NFL. So I want to see how far it's seeped. So I am a hardcore fan of the NFL. Did you see all this stuff with Travis?
I saw it, but who didn't see it?
That's what I want to know.
Everyone saw it. I'll tell you this. Like, I don't pay that close of attention to. Like, I pay enough attention to football to still be a little bit dangerous, right? Like, just enough. I kind of know what's going on. I know who the big players are. So, like, I'm not completely out of that, but Yeah.
So you know who Travis Kelce is.
Yeah, of course.
And then how he, like, in the Taylor Swift thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild. Did you see? So for people listening, Travis Kelce's a football player. If you don't really follow football, you probably want to know that, or he's just a football player. But he's like, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, maybe best ever at his position. And he also is a superstar in the NFL. Like, he has a personality out there. He him and his brother have like a popular podcast, and so he's doing fine, right? And then he randomly like threw it out there. Basically, he was trying to like go on a date with Taylor Swift, and somehow she like got to her, and she replied. Anyway, she shows up to a game. Right,
with his mom,
and then people, in the skybox with his mom, and there's a whole thing because it's now Taylor Swift, who's like the biggest superstar on the planet, and it's funny because football fans are pissed at the NFL because they like post about it all the time, which is funny to me being a business person. I'm like, man, y'all really have no clue. First of all,
how this stuff works.
They already have you as a fan, and you watch the games.
Yeah,
like them sharing nuance of football games.
Doesn't bring anybody else in.
Exactly, right? But then all of a sudden, someone with billions of fans comes to a game.
Probably one of the biggest fan bases in music right now.
Yeah, this is how they suck people in, right?
An extremely passionate group of fans. Like, they're next level, dude.
Yeah,
so you're tapping into that a little bit. Like, why not?
Mm-hmm. And then I started getting a little sucked in too. It's weird how like
you invested.
I'm like, then they showed him like driving in the convertible after the game, and I'm like, oh, wonder what they did, like wonder. And I'm just, then you see that they rented out, some rooftop and all this. And I'm like, man, this is
Can you tell which one of us loves reality TV out of the two of us?
Now I'm rooting for it. I'm like, this is going to work out.
Do you ever wonder, like, when people do stuff, like, is it just like publicity?
So,
I don't think it is.
No.
You know who I feel like does that, though?
Mm-hmm.
What's the dude's name? The dude who dated Kim Kardashian.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of... I don't know about him, but some of it feels like, damn, this was planned.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't think so in this because, it happened in too many stages outwardly to be in to where there was no way, It
does feel more authentic.
Yeah.
However... I don't really care how it ends up,
but so like you said, so overnight, and dude, Travis Kelce already had like 2 million followers.
I saw his follower count jumped.
He gained 300,000 followers on Instagram. His merchandise sales went up 400%, and his jersey sales jumped into the top 5. So that was the power of the Swifties.
And his podcast went to number 1.
Oh, it did? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. But honestly, their podcast is pretty entertaining.
That's what I've heard. I've heard a few people say it's like
they'll talk football, but it's like brotherly banter.
Yeah.
And his brother had like a documentary on Amazon that's probably going to blow up. That's actually really good because last season was supposed to be his last year, so I guess they recorded this documentary. But then they ended up making it to the Super Bowl and playing against his brother and the Chiefs, and he's just a pretty entertaining guy, but he's also like, he's married, has kids. So you kind of see the perspective of like a football player going through the season and their real life. Similar to the quarterbacks documentary, which a lot of people like.
Yeah, I think that it'll probably blow up more than it.
Yeah. Well, because Travis Kelce's in it a lot too. And like, he's like,
people just want to see
like their background with how they are with family and all that. But yeah.
T-Swift.
Wild. Yep. And, who was it? Oh, speaking of go-to meals, Aaron Rodgers, he got hurt, and they were towards Achilles or whatever. And so it was funny. This shows where someone asked him, like, oh, now that you don't have to. So he's working hard on rehab, and he's kind of tongue-in-cheek. You can tell he wants to have an aggressive rehab to try to come back quicker than normal from that injury. Mm-hmm. But then the interviewer was like, hey, since you don't, in their mind, right, you don't have to play, so do you take a break from your diet and stuff? And he's like, nah, I'm trying to recover.
Yeah, and it's even more important.
It's even more important, right? So, and he mentioned how he has like his set routine that he sticks to, and so he has, go-to meals, and and you don't just, I can't exercise. Let me, eat like crap or whatever. I thought that was interesting. Another point too, it shows like how, dude, when the media reports on anything that's like diet related, just ignore it.
Just ignore it. It's the dumbest questions.
Did you see the thing where, who was it? Someone was training for a role. It was the dude. His name was Andy, and that one like sitcom.
Oh, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Oh, when he said
they misquoted how much water he drank.
220 glasses.
Yeah. Which literally right when I heard it, I was like, there's no way. And I was like, he must have been saying 220 ounces, which was probably his body weight. So like
that was exactly what I took it as.
And then
there's no way he said 220 glasses.
Yeah.
Or he was being tongue in cheek and just joking about it.
But then he did come out and say he was misquoted, right?
Yeah.
So the reality is like the reporter just kind of vaguely heard that
and then just jumped on it and I got to publish this.
But then it never gets looked over, and that's how easy stuff can be misconstrued.
Because then someone's out there thinking, I got to drink this much water. And then, like, you're going to die if you drink that much water.
Yeah.
Like, straight, there's no way around it.
Really?
How many ounces is that?
228 glasses is 8 times 8.
Times 8. Like, yeah, we're talking a small glass, actually. We're talking a little glass.
I mean, and here's the thing.
Hey, that's 1,700 ounces of water.
But then the average person probably wouldn't even, they would hear a glass of water and they may not go to 8 ounces.
No, exactly.
I'm just saying that because that's like.
That's a small glass.
Yeah, someone might do like
a 16 ouncer.
216 ounces.
Dude, like 220 times 16, that's 3,500 ounces of water.
How many gallons is that?
Oh, God. How many?
120 or 18, something like that.
I got you. Hold on. Ounces in a gallon. So if we're talking how many ounces, how many did I say? 35, 20.
128 in a gallon.
That's 27 and a half gallons of water.
Could you picture trying to drink that? Well, you couldn't.
You couldn't.
You'd die.
There's no way. Like, what would you get to? Like, what would be the boiling point before you died? Of how much you, because a lot
of it's going to come down to hyponatremia.
No, yeah, like you're not, like there's got to be a tipping point where you can't, like where that runs out, right?
Yeah,
you're not going to get to
dilute yourself.
You're not going to get to 28. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, but right there, whole side. That'd probably be a whole nother podcast while we're off on this tangent. But yeah, hit your go-to meal. Create your go-to meals. Work at it.
Create your go-to structure.
Don't drink 128 glasses of water a day.
Just drink like 3 or 4. You know what I mean?
And we need to know with Travis and Taylor, is it trailer?
Oh God.
Or is it Tavis?
Trailer's way better. Way better. I hadn't even thought about that, so thanks for. I'm glad that you thought about it.
What Will and Whitney?
I mean,
it could be William or Will or Will or Whitney. Wow, y'all's name.
I know.
Is literally the inverse of both y'all's celebrity name is your names.
It's perfect.
You can't even come up with something else. What's Gary and Alexis?
Galexis.
Or Alexari.
Gary?
Nah, neither of them are that good.
Nah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah. What about Ben and Kristen?
Ken? Ken and Briston?
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, those are good.
Briston.
I'll take those.
Oh, man. What about Diego and Lauren?
Liego?
That's good.
Darren? Doran? Darren?
Yeah. Liego's pretty good. Go with that.
Liego?
Man. All right.
All right, let's wrap this up before we get off the rails.
All right. We appreciate you for listening.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.